I hate Vince Russo. I just absolutely fucking despise Vince Russo and the bullshit like the fucking Viagra on a pole match. Judy Bagwell on a pole match. I have a massive headache right now. I already looked at that notable Maris prospect performance last night. Victor Robles 0 for 0, hit by pitch, um, one ejection after he threw the bat at the pitcher. After this pitcher, in 3 of his last 4 plate appearances against Robles, hit him with a pitch, he got mad and threw the bat. Robles also had the misfortune of being hit um, 5 times in 15 plate appearances in his minor league rehab assignment. They're looking to get him 40 to 50 at bats over the next couple of weeks. Probably plan is to probably activate him from the minor league rehab assignment on September 1st or September 3rd, whatever day that the September call-ups start this year. Um, but yeah, that's a thing. Yesterday was a pretty good day. Had 34 hours of watch time on here. So looking to see how that affects things. Added 2 hours of watch time to my getting to 4,000. So that was nice. What else happened? I hung out outside for a while. Outside's really nice. Next couple of weeks, I got a lot going on. I've got school starting on Monday of next week, so that's fun. That means this is the last week that I can really do much stuff. I'll be on campus Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for the whole day. The plan for me right now is I'm getting my financial aid refund in the next couple of days, probably by Thursday, which will be really useful. But yeah, we don't know exactly what's going on with my classes right now because they haven't posted them onto the learning management system, which is not fun. I don't like learning management systems, but I understand that since my classes are online asynchronous, I have to use them. Emailed both of the professors I have, and there's no expectation to use generative AI, which was excellent because I do not want generative AI anywhere near my education or anybody else's education. We're learning now that it's causing things like AI psychosis. If you guys remember, like I used AI years ago, because remember I've been on the internet for a while. Cleverbot. That's all ChatGPT is. That's all Copilot is. It's Cleverbot. It's a slightly better version of Cleverbot. And it'll make shit up. It'll hallucinate things. It gets anti-Semitic. It's ridiculous. Like I absolutely hate. It's hot in Tennessee midnight. Oh, I'm sorry about that, man. It's was it 70? 69, 70 right now, according to my thermometer over here, which is actually really nice, but also probably explains why I got a headache because it was like 90 yesterday. So that's a 20 plus degree drop in temperature overnight. And yeah, it was nice though because we had rain, so that cooled the place off. Not much cloud cover now at all. The clouds are white and not cloudy at all. Um, you can hear a little bit of the cicadas and the crickets, which is kind of nice just hearing nature. Nature's a really cool place. I want to go out. I can't today because I got an MRI later. But I'm considering going out to a national park or a state park, Allegheny National Forest or Allegheny State Park, depending if I want to stay on the New York side or swing over to the PA side. Really all depends on my mood. Things. I've also been considering going to the state fair, hopping on the train, running to the state fair, and then running back the next morning. But I don't know if that would be a smart idea. $30 train ticket each way, so $60 on the train. Um, Yesterday and the day before, my grandpa's fucking aide left, middle of her shift. She's just there. She shows up at 10 a.m. like she's supposed to. Okay, they get Grandpa changed, washed, um, washed then changed, and in a new diaper and everything, new clothes, all that stuff, and then feeds him. Then I don't know what she did, and then by 2 o'clock she was just gone both days, and my mother had to go deal with it. Which like okay, but like my mother's having knee surgery in 9 days. I don't think she should really be doing that. She's going grocery shopping for my grandma right now. Because grandma and grandpa can't leave the house. Grandpa can't leave the house whatsoever. Grandma can, but she doesn't have a car or anything, and she stays in the house most of the time, which is fine. She's an old lady. They're both old people. Um, Heck, I like staying in the house too. Getting a little windy out here. Um, I'm liking that. Some rumors that the NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity Series, or some rumors that the NASCAR Cup and Truck Series are going to be out tomorrow, along with the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series tomorrow. Xfinity is remaining as a premier partner of the Cup Series, but will no longer be the entitlement sponsor of the second tier series. If you remember, the second tier series started as the Grand National Series, then the Busch Grand National Series, then the Busch Series, then they were the Nationwide Series, then they were the Xfinity Series, and now they're the O'Reilly Auto Parts um, Series. So, O'Reilly Auto Parts. Um, which I think is kind of cool that it's now going back to being something that's related to cars. Obviously, originally when it was Busch, Winston, and Craftsman, it's like, come on, Craftsman, okay, tools, that works. That works for cars. Busch, remember to drink responsibly and don't drink and drive. And then Winston, cigarettes, and unfortunately the cigarette companies did not do good for society. We kind of knew how bad cigarettes were for people for a while. That's why for a while it was 18 in order to buy cigarettes. Here in New York, it's 21 to buy cigarettes, legal weed, or alcohol. All of them are 21, which, like, okay, but you can vote at 18, you can join the army at 18, but you can't do any of the vices at 18. You can also gamble at 18 here. You can sports bet at 18. You can fucking, um, you can sports bet at 18. You can go to the casino at 18. And that's just the casinos that are actually in New York State and not on native land. There's a couple on native land, and those you can go. You got to be 18 too, which I think that's just the natives decided. Probably best because they still got to check American ID and everything. It's a whole thing. Um, but yeah, today is Monday. It's August 18th. I actually threw up my sports predictions video last night, which was nice. It took me a little while to throw up my Mariners video, but thankfully that's a scheduled video because it goes on Patreon first, but it was a problem. I was having so many problems with the computer because it was just not working right, and I think I got to go to Best Buy and purchase a new Wi-Fi adapter for that because mine just keeps breaking, and I don't understand why, but I'm gonna work on it. I'll work on it and see. I have a iBuy Power desktop PC, and then I have a HP laptop with 32 gigs of RAM and a terabyte hard drive on the laptop. So I use the laptop just as like when I go to school, it comes with me. I use it a lot for D&D, shit like that. D&D, Magic, all that kind of stuff. Um, the garden is my happy place. Is that about gardening or gardening? Last night the Bills lost 38-0. They didn't play basically any other starters on offense and few starters on defense. It was not a good game. Mariners lost 7-3. Cal was on base every time. Um, Couple of walks, couple of hits. Cal did really well last night. Hit his 47th home run. One more to tie Salvador Perez for most as a primary catcher. Remember, Cal does come in as a pinch hitter every once in a while. Cal comes in as the DH probably once or twice a week right now. I think we've got Cal for probably about 5 more seasons as a catcher before he moves to permanent DH, which is fine. We got Cal, we got Julio. Cole Young's up. He's doing really well. He went 0 for 4 last night. He did not get on base. It wasn't great. Um, Julio grounded into 2 double plays in the last 2 days. Wasn't great, but he was on base in the in the top of the ninth with a chance for the Mariners to tie. Unfortunately, Josh Naylor did not help the Mariners out there. If Naylor just gets a base hit, Cal scores, Julio gets the third, and we got Gino coming up potentially as the tying run to the plate. I think that would have completely changed the complexion of the game. Gino potentially hits a home run there, ties the game, then anything can happen in the bottom of the ninth, obviously. But we would have brought Munoz in. Um, Munoz is 29 saves this season, which is pretty amazing. There is a bird of prey up in the sky. It looks like a hawk. We get hawks here every once in a while. I've seen a couple of eagles over the course of my life around here. Not a lot, but a few. But that was just a random hawk. And that's kind of cool. I'd like for it to, not attack me or any of my animals or anything, but I also understand it's got to eat. I'd like to see it attack a squirrel or a deer, specifically a deer, because I'd like to see what a deer would do against a bird of prey. I feel like the deer would probably win, but it'd be kind of cool to see. Um, yeah. I am not doing well right now because of this MRI. Got really bad anxiety about it. My my doctor prescribed me a Xanax for tonight, so I can take it about a half hour before I go. It's probably going to cause drowsiness, so I can't drive. So my dad's driving me. He's driving me and driving me back. And I don't know if we're going to do anything before or after. Not before. Certainly not before. Um, might see about stopping at a McDonald's or a Burger King or a Wendy's or an Arby's. Oh man, I could go for some fucking Arby's right now. I could really go for some fucking Arby's right now. Arby's would be delicious. Some Arby's, some Pokemon Go. This week is a really big weekend. Finster is a noise maker thingy. Ha 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 ha. Yes, because you can't say the other word, but yes, Finster is, which is wild. I can't believe Icky didn't. Well, it wasn't Icky who did that. Somebody did that to them, and I don't know who or how, but Icky was the one who discovered it for the world. You don't think you'd be able to handle MRI? You're due for one for your back injury progression? Well, I'm due for one for tonight, and it's for my back injury stuff too, because physical therapy helped a little bit. It gave me my function back, a lot of my function back, but it did not give me it did not remove my pain. So, like, for a while, I couldn't really walk. I had to use a cane because my physical therapist said it was probably L4, L5, because you know how the spine. I don't have a spine with me, but you know how the spine has those, like, you got L4, L5, and you got the little disc in between them, kind of like that. He thinks that the one in between those two that area, is the one that was bulging or herniated or potentially, and he thinks it herniated out to the left and pressed on the nerves like that, because for a while I was having some really bad pain and really bad function issues where I could not walk, and my hip on my left side was weak. And he did like a strength test on me, where I kicked and pulled and pushed, and it was this whole thing. And like, it's supposed to be able to do at least 50 pounds of force for somebody my age. I was doing like 18. And he was like, "Yeah, nah, we're gonna do that." And on the other leg, I was doing like 48, which was like okay, which was like what it's supposed to be. And I was like, "Okay, so that doesn't sound good." Um, but I got my function back and my strength back down on the legs. They're both back at like 47, 48. Like it's supposed to be 50, but there's like a margin for error and whatnot. So today we're gonna go ahead and check and see if I've got a herniation of the disc, if the herniation's severe, if the herniation might be something else. Because sometimes I have pain when I sit, especially in the left side of my rear end. So they're going to investigate to see if I might have ankylosing spondylitis, which is basically an arthritis of the spine, which is something that they've got to definitely go ahead and take a look at because my mom has a couple of types of arthritis, and because of that, they got to keep an eye on me for any type of arthritis other than osteo. Mom's got psoriatic, rheumatoid, and she's got some osteoarthritis. None of that's fun to have. I have I have some osteoarthritis in the hips, probably just from overuse from when I did taekwondo as a kid, plus falling down a lot, all types of stuff like that. It ain't fun, but it's manageable. If I have a flare up, I could just take an Advil. Um, but we're also looking to see about some other stuff. There's also a possibility that the disc's not herniated at all, and I have a nerve issue. So we're checking out on that, see if it might be something like MS, see if it might be something like deteriorating nerves, all sorts of stuff like that. Because I had a physical therapist suggest that a few years ago, and I was just like, I don't believe you, blah 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 blah. I'm I was dumb. That was dumb of me to say that and not go and investigate that. And then a whole bunch of stuff happened. Then COVID hit, and I got real bad during COVID. Um, I had I had full body spasms because I was so used to being a go. I was working 2, 3 jobs all the time. I never stopped. Um, and as soon as COVID hit, I had to relax. I couldn't. I played video games. I made TikToks. I started my YouTube channel in 2021, which was nice that happened. Um, didn't really have a damn clue what I was doing back in 2020, 2021, and got 68 million views on TikTok in 2021. I still had no clue what I was doing. And yeah, I've got to go ahead and see what happens. Um, Rich, it's in the link in the description. So you can go ahead and subscribe there. It's in my link tree. $6.99 a month. And of that, I get $5.59 because they take 20%, which is fine. Um, because 10 people would be 55, 100 people would be 550, 555. 1,000 people would be 5,555. No, 5,550, which would be pretty sweet. They say that you need to make $5,000 a month from content creation before you can go ahead and like quit your day job or anything. So because that's $60,000 a year. And like the thing with that number, how is the Earth the trapezoid? So it's real complicated. I'm going to do a presentation on this at some point. But basically, so the Earth, everybody thinks it looks like a sphere, and then some other people think it's flat. It's not. It's not. It's a combination of the two things. It's a combination of the two things. It's three dimensional. It's three dimensional, and it's kind of flat in some places. So you got on top, you got the trapezoid, you got the flat trapezoid, then you got the sides, then you got the bottom. And now the bottom lands is very important because that's where Australia and Antarctica are, and giraffes are from there. And giraffes are from there. And giraffes are from there. And giraffes used to have short necks, but then As they evolved to look over the bottomlands, their necks grew longer, and then they migrated to Africa. And then as they were in Africa, they just decided, Africa's a nice place. We're going to live here because Africa is a nice place. Um, but yeah, they decided they're going to live there, and they live there now. So it's wonderful for them. Um, but then also we got to think about some other things because the bottomlands still exist, and it's where Antarctica is. And now, how do you stand if it's upside down? The same way you would if it were round. You just sort of stand and you're upside down and you just don't notice because the body has ways of dealing with that. The body has ways of dealing with that. It's one of those things where the body has ways of dealing with it. No, 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 no. I've never seen a picture of the Earth that's round. You say, oh, they went to the moon and they turned around and they turned around and the Earth. And they turned around and took a picture of the Earth and it was round. No, no, they didn't. I don't think they went to the moon. I don't think there is a moon. I really don't think there is a moon. I don't think there's a moon. If there is a moon, it's New Zealand and it orbits America. But yeah, I don't think there's actually a moon for us to land on. Honestly, if they faked the moon landing, but not how you think. Not how you think. They faked the moon landing on Jupiter. You think that Jupiter's a gas giant. It's not. Jupiter's not a gas giant. Jupiter's got all sorts of alien life on it. The Great Red Spot. What are you talking about? A 300-year tropical cyclone. That's not even possible. That's just there so that you don't see the civilization on Jupiter. They faked the moon landing about a mile away from that. Yes, that's right. New Zealand. Well, no, New Zealand's not a planet. It's a moon. It's America's moon. New Zealand isn't quite a planet. It orbits America. Very important. Very important distinction. Just like Pluto. Pluto's no longer a planet because it didn't clear its orbit of things. But yeah, Pluto didn't clear its orbit of things, so it's got the Kuiper Belt and all that stuff. Um, so yeah, no Pluto. No more Pluto. But yeah, they faked the moon landing on Jupiter. And I'm sick and tired of people saying that the thing in the sky is the moon. No, it's Jupiter. Jupiter's like so close to Earth. Like, yeah, there's Mars. Pluto told you it was too shy to be a planet. Yeah, I could see that. I could absolutely see that. Speaking of Pluto, Pluto and what's the other dog? Goofy. The two Disney dogs. I hate liberals. I absolutely hate liberals. Liberals believe in things like the Earth being round. They believe in things like the moon landing. They believe that Australia. They don't believe that New Zealand is America's moon. They don't believe that America created the universe on July 4th, 1776. Absolutely ridiculous. They don't believe that. They don't believe that we need to keep teaching the Bible. Very important to actually teach the Bible. There's a lot of English literature that you can't understand if you don't understand the Bible. For example, if you've never read the Bible, you're not really going to understand C.S. Lewis, like at all. Uh, Even some Harry Potter stuff you need to have read the Bible for. Diane Duane's Young Wizard series, especially for stuff like the choice that they talk about in multiple books, but especially in Deep and High Wizardry. Those two books where they talk about the choice, you absolutely have to know about Genesis 3. Um, Thanks for the reactions, just helping the stream grow. Genesis 3, where the serpent tells Eve, hey, go eat the apple, and then Eve eats the apple. That's a choice. That's the fall of man. And then Dwayne and C.S. Lewis both actually in their writings have used that in C.S. Lewis's sci-fi series. The Fall of Man doesn't happen, and in Dwayne's the Fall of Man happens in Deep Wizardry, but it doesn't happen in High Wizardry, which is actually. You love Sonic for the Sega Genesis. That's your favorite part. I've never actually played a Sega Genesis, unfortunately. I think my friend has one or has a way to emulate it. So I might take a look at that and see. My friend's gonna let me borrow Bayonetta Origins soon. I'm planning on buying Bayonetta 2 and 3. I might cosplay Bayonetta for the con I go to. I gotta learn how. I'm not a Republican either. I hate liberals and I hate Republicans. I mean, yeah, old school Republicans did good things like freeing the slaves and stuff, but, I hate them. Um, wow, 105 people here. That means for every minute, there's 105 minutes of watch time, which is just under an hour. Thanks for the like, whoever liked the video. Unfortunately, I can't actually tell. Um, but yeah. Now, getting back to the moon landing on Jupiter. Now, the reason NASA faked the moon landing on Jupiter was because they wanted us to believe in the moon. The Earth is the Earth is like a rugby ball. Nah, I don't know. I don't think so. And I know I didn't hear about that, but that would be a pretty interesting thing. Brazil, Brazil is a pretty interesting place. I've not been there. Um, the Earth is a cube. No, the Earth is not a cube. The Earth is not a cube. The Earth would never allow itself to be associated with the Borg. The Earth is not a cube. The Earth is absolutely not a cube, and it is not associated with the Borg. You like cubes? Sphere? What? No. There's no such thing as a sphere. Spheres are mathematically and physically impossible. I've never seen anything look like a sphere. And like I know they talk about why don't we have a flat Mars society? That's because when you look up, you can see that Mars is very clearly an octagon. The sun's a hexagon. The sun's a hexagon. Well, a hexagonal prism. Earth's a trapezoidal prism. Trapezoidal is a very good word, very fun word to say. Um, but yeah, there's that. But yeah, NASA faked the moon landing. Spheres of basketball, soccer ball, baseball. No, no, no. None of those things are spheres. They're sphere-like objects. Nah, I've never seen anything round in nature. You're telling me that there's nothing round in nature and yet our planet is somehow round? That doesn't make any sense. That makes about as much sense as not teaching the Bible in an ELA class. You absolutely have to teach the Bible in an ELA class. You absolutely have to teach the Bible in an ELA class to make sure the students understand everything about English literature. There's so much, not just the stuff from like the New Testament and the Gospel. Sermon on the Mount is Sermon on the Mount is one of the best pieces of literature in the entirety of the literary canon, as we know. Especially if you don't get it from the KJV. Um, there's some really good things about the KJV. The KJV, because even though it was written about 70 years after Shakespeare's death, the KJV was still written in the Shakespearean early modern English, and because of that, people were People were reading up until about 1998, 1999. People would read the KJV before we got better translations of the Bible available, and people started understanding that. And the KJV was the same as Shakespeare's English, so it was actually relatively easy for students to understand the Shakespearean English, and it's not anymore because so many less people actually read the KJV these days, and because of that, you've got to think that because less people are reading the KJV, less people are understanding Shakespeare. And as less people understand Shakespeare, we have to figure out ways to make Shakespeare more modern and all that. And like modern interpretations of Shakespeare are all right, but some of them are terrible. BritBox does a pretty good job with some Shakespeare. There was the one with Catherine Tate and David Tennant of I think it was Merchant of Venice, which is a pretty good play. Unfortunately, a certain German dictator had that as his favorite play. Though he didn't really actually understand that, there's a reason Shylock wanted his pound of flesh. Um, it's very important. Very important play. It was actually very, very progressive for its time in its treatment of Jews, because it allowed the Jewish person to convert to Christianity as opposed to dying. But yeah. All right. It is now time for me to move on to something else. Talk to y'all later.